Well, one, for heater safety, they need to make sure that if they're using a space heater, to make sure that they have at least a 3-foot parameter around it, making sure there's nothing combustible, nothing like sheets, blankets, papers, anything like that in that 3-foot radius around the heater itself. Also making sure that, yes, I know it gets cold when you go to bed, but if you can, turn it off before you go to bed at night. Just throw a couple extra blankets on the bed, but try to keep it off, especially while you're sleeping, because if something were to happen, they get knocked over. In addition to that, it's just making sure that they are protected in some way. There's some sort of guard around them so that if they do tip over, hopefully the type that you've bought has an automatic shut off, but a lot of the older ones don't. But also try to use electrical if at all possible. Do not use a kerosene or propane-based heater because you're, one, bringing a combustible substance inside your home, which if it does ignite is going to create a bigger problem. But two, it's not a safety because of the CO2 emissions and the carbon monoxide. It needs to be an electric space heater. Two, it needs to be one that actually does have a system in place that if it does knock over or get tipped over, that it will automatically turn off. And then also one that making sure that it has a guard around it so that the actual radiator or the heat coils themselves are not easily accessible by any kind of combustible product. I think it's just don't overload the socket. Especially as we move closer into the holiday season when people go with lights and a lot of other decorative items, making sure that you don't overload one certain socket. Don't daisy chain electric cords or extension cords. Making sure that if you're going to plug several things into an outlet, use a surge protector. Use one that is a new surge protector if at all possible. But just basic common sense things, just don't overload the electric outlet. It's stuff that we don't recommend necessarily, but I mean a lot of people are going to use their fireplaces, and then people use their fireplaces all the time. I mean if I had a fireplace in my home, I would use it. But the one thing to do is if you're going to use your fireplace, which is a great source of heat, one, make sure that you've got it inspected prior to use. Making sure that you have had it swept out, the chimney, check the flue, make sure all that stuff is in place, make sure all the brick, if there's a brick around it, is in place, and so you're not going to get any kind of smoke or flames into the house. But just make sure that if you're going to use it, only use it while you're there and only use it while you're awake. Don't keep it burning when you go to bed. Put the fire out, completely out before you go to bed, and put that fire out before you leave the home. Just don't leave it unattended would be the best thing that I can say is just, again, common sense. Just don't leave the fire unattended. The best way and the best resource to get access to any resources is contacting the United Way's 211 information and referral number. Once the clients dial that 211 from a regular landline phone, they have access to all of the different agencies here in Central Georgia. A trained representative is going to talk to you to find out what the actual issue is, and then they're going to refer you to the proper agency that's best suited to fit that need. So that is the best way for anybody to really gain access to help, because they're going to get the best information. Instead of calling one agency and then having to get referred to another and another and another, one-stop shop, call 211, they're going to put you in immediate contact with the agencies best able to serve.